Hi, you're watching Construction Gaming and welcome back to Celtic City on Cities Skylines. This is going to be episode number 6 in the series, and this episode is going to continue with the same format as the last episode where I talk over the time lapse, but hopefully I will have a bit more to say in this episode. I've certainly got a bit to say about today's Steam update. Today is Wednesday and Steam decided to update and break City Skylines. Not break City Skylines, but break all the assets that I've downloaded and subscribed to, which was a bit of a pain trying to load City Skylines this afternoon and then realising that it's not working because I've got hundreds of assets now for this particular build. So basically, if you manage to escape the update or the results of the update, basically what had happened is all of the mods and assets somehow became disconnected from the game. They were still saved on my hard drive, but they weren't showing up in the game. They weren't loading. So I had to go back into a collection which I haven't updated for a while, and one by one add in all the assets that I use for this particular build. Then I had to unsubscribe to them and then resubscribe, and luckily, looking around, it seems to have worked. I think I've got all the assets that I've been using so far and the mods, which is lucky. I did panic a bit when I first tried to load the game, not really realising and not seeing the loading screen mod. That's the first sign that something is definitely not right when you don't see that mod to begin with. So yeah, bit of a frustrating start to the afternoon, but it's not looking too bad. I think there's the crisis averted, I think. So what am I going to do in this episode? In this episode we need to increase the population. We have a massive demand for residential. Unemployment is 2%. That is very low. I don't think I've ever had unemployment 2% before. So basically I have this district called Dale View. It's got the standard, for me, European suburbia theme in place because it's just a suburb of Celtic City. What I do want to do is get the metro. I think I'm going to have a spur going off to the what will be the west and a spur off to the east to Dale View, just because I'm aware of this divide. We've only got 2 roads. I've built a bridge over to the west here, which you can see, which will eventually link up, but we've got a lot of traffic. Well, we do have still a lot of traffic building up on the approach to the roundabout to this main bridge into what will be the city centre, and then the only other one is the motorway connection, which I will look at probably improving at some point in the future. But to get people moving, I'm going to get the metro over here and get public transport sorted so we haven't got hundreds of cars trying to get into the city. That's the idea, at least. Hopefully it works. We'll just have to wait and see. So we've got Woodridge. I haven't done any tree planting yet. That needs to be done. Probably do that off camera. And then I think in this episode, just going to be building this new suburb of Dale View. So that'll be done during the time lapse, which I will cut to now. Okie dokie, just starting to get the railway metro tracks in and some of the roads. But before I go any further and before I forget, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Rick4000. He's on Twitter and YouTube and he is a assets creator. A lot of the assets that I've used, such as the terraced houses, the police station I think, and one of the railway stations was created by him. So I just wanted to give him a big shout out because he does some really good work. His UK assets are rather good, and his series that he's doing at the minute, which is a UK build, is really detailed, really good work. So I will put a link to his YouTube in the description below, and also I have my mods and assets list, which has been updated now. I've been forced to update it because of that little glitch, but that is now fully updated. So if you want to see any of the assets that I've used, then check the mods list out, and it has obviously the assets by Rick 4000, which are rather good. Now this first section, I'm just setting out the roads, doing a bit of smoothing, but I don't want to affect the landscape too much, trying to strike a balance between having the landscape kept, looking the way it was, and having a buildable area. So I'm using the slope tool to just create gentle slopes for particularly the railway, because like I said in the previous episode, I don't want any really steep slopes on the railway. The road's not too bad, but I would like it to be semi-smooth. I mean, the terrain, like you can see now that I'm just building this little path on, is, you've got really good vistas, so I'd like to keep some of that. Like I said, I don't really want to smooth the terrain too much. I don't want to mess with the terrain as set out by Mr. Miyagi, because it is a good map. But you do need buildable areas, which there's a bit of a smooth, relatively flat area, which I'm just about to set the roads out on. There's a bit of a hill there, but yeah, smooth that out and get in some of the tracks. And it's flat. I think it's flat enough. Well, it is flat enough. I know it is because I built on it, but it's flat enough for houses to spawn on. It doesn't look too bad. So got that road in there. Basically the rest of this segment is just me building the road, so I'm going to skip forward to some of the other bits that I've been working on for Dale View, which I'll skip to now. Yeah, because I'm not really working on any sort of plan. I'm just building with the terrain basically. So this area here, just that little gap, just inspired me. I thought, you know what I'll do is I'll make a little small linear park, just to add something a bit different, and I'll get the first park in as well. And it's a good way of connecting up the different areas with something a bit more attractive than just your standard path. So just doing a bit of detailing with the fences, not going to town with this. It's just more of a kind of walkway, leafy tree lined walkway rather than an actual park itself. So I don't need to go mad with the actual park assets, which there aren't any of because I haven't unlocked them yet. It's one of the things I'm finding with this build, because I haven't got everything unlocked from the beginning, that I'm having to unlock them as I go, which adds to the challenge, but makes it a bit more interesting, I think. So I've gone in there, just obviously get the pipes in now because they need some water, and then get the metro in. It's like I've never played this. It's like I didn't play this yesterday, watching it for the first time. So I'm still getting used to the new format, so you will have to bear with me. It's not slick at all, but hopefully it's a bit more engaging than just having the music. So yeah, there isn't actually very much to choose from when you only got a level 1 park. So just add in a little area here with the ice cream van. Nothing fancy, and there's not really, because it's such a long and thin park, there's not actually that much room for the buildings. And I tried to put I think it's the chessboard in, but that wouldn't fit. So just going in with these trees. I can't remember whose trees they are, but they are in the assets collection. These are low poly trees, but that somehow they look better than the vanilla trees. Just going in there, filling any gaps in with those. I do like my trees, but you can never have too many. Just especially if there's any empty spaces, it just helps to fill those out with the likes of the hedges which are on the houses. If they end, it just looks a bit odd. So if you put some trees in there, you can just mask any oddness. So that is pretty much the build, really. I've done most of what I've done. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So I've completed most of what I have done in this particular episode. And what I'd like to do at the end of each episode is to have some sort of cinematic shot of the actual what I've built in that particular episode. Now, when I recorded the cinematic for this episode, the computer did not like it at all. It really struggled. It wasn't too bad when I was zoomed into the suburb, the Daleview suburb, but as soon as it tried to pan out for a nice view over the city, because it is quite a nice view, it went down to about 8 frames per second, which is rubbish. So I will have to play around with future cinematics, maybe just have them close up, maybe have sort of static shots of what I've built. But I don't know yet, I'll just have to see as we go along, because I mean the city's not that big yet, it's only 14,000 and the computer's already struggling for some reason. It's not by any means the fastest computer, but it shouldn't struggle as much as it has done. I fear I might have to reinstall Windows, but that is such a pain, especially when you've got mods and assets. I've tried to do everything right. I've got my my Steam folder is on a different partition, but from last time I know the mods and assets, it almost does exactly the same as what happened today when the Steam updated. The mods and assets are on your computer, but they're not connected to City Skylines, so I don't know, we will see. But for now, it's, you know, when I'm recording, when I'm building, it's alright, but it's just, I would like some smoother cinematics is all. It's not too much to ask for, I don't think. So I think I've done as much as I can today. Just this build is just carrying on with the same format, basically plodding down some roads, getting some houses in. So I think I will call it a day there and skip over to the cinematic, and I will say until next time, bye bye.